Welcome to Age English by Eddie Singh, and today we are going to continue with the Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner Part 2, the remaining lines. Well, the very deep did rot, oh cries, that ever this should be. Yes, slimy things did crawl with legs upon the slimy sea. The poet actually is going to depict the feelings of the mariners. Here, the old mariner remarks by saying that, oh God, the entire ocean had rotten. It had never happened ever before. And slimy means dirty. Ugly creatures with their ugly legs were crawling on the surface of dirty sea. That means presence of microbes in seawater appeared to be slimy, appeared to be dirty. So the ancient mariner remarked, saying that the entire ocean had rotten. Oh God, the entire ocean had rotten. Here deep means ocean. So now the question, what does the word deep here refer to? Ocean. What does the word deep here refers to?
Ocean.
Okay. How has the mariners reacted to the presence of microbes in water? They just remarked, saying that the entire ocean had rotten. The entire ocean had rotten. The presence of microbes in seawater made the mariners remark that the entire ocean had rotten. And it had never happened ever before. It had never happened
ever before.
And these, ugly creatures with their ugly legs were crawling on the surface of water. So, I would like to ask you, tell me, what are slimy things? These are the microbes that is in a stagnant water. So the microbes with ugly legs were crawling on the surface of seawater, which appeared to the mariners as if the entire ocean had rotten. Which appeared to the mariner as if the entire ocean had rotten. Now, next line. About in reel and rout, the dirt fires dance at night. The death fire dance at night. The water like a witch's isle, burnt green and blue and white. Look at that. You see now, fluorescence light. Have you heard of fluorescence light? How many of you have heard of? At night, you'll see some of the light coming from the microbes. So in seawater, light coming from the microbes appeared like, death fires to the mariners. What appeared like death fires to the mariners? Light coming from the microbes in seawater appeared like what? Tell me. Appeared like death fires. Light coming from the microbes in seawater appeared like death fires. And it appeared as if they were dancing and performing different types of dances. Different types of dances. Now the mariners, as they were guilt conscious, they just thought that the witches means the soul of the dead albatross, has turned out to be a witch, a kind of magical spirit. So the soul of the dead albatross has turned into a witch, and it has turned the entire seawater into witch's broth. And the entire seawater has turned into witch's eye. And it is burning green, blue and white. The changing color of water appeared like the oil being burned and the color changing green, blue and white. So here there is an image. The image is just the reflection of the guilty mind of the mariners. As they were guilt conscious, they were just thinking that the entire ocean had rotten and microbes with their fluorescence light appeared to them like death fires. What did appear to them like death fires? Microbes with fluorescence light appeared to the mariner like death fires, and the changing color of water appeared like burning of oil. It appeared as if witch was just performing some magical treat in the seawater and had turned the entire seawater into witch's broth. And then the water's color was just turning to be green, blue and white. Now the question, what did the mariners feel about changing color of water? They felt that the witch, in the form of the soul of the dead albatross, was performing some kind of magic. And what did they consider the entire seawater as? They considered the entire seawater as witch's broth. And the water was turning into witch's isle, and it was turning the color green, blue and white. Now tell me, which element is being here introduced by the poet? Supernatural element. So the poet has tried to introduce supernatural element in these lines. And what are they? the reflection of, see that, the reflection of the changing color of light appeared to the mariners as death fires. Certainly, the mariners were impressed by or were affected by supernatural element. Supernatural? And what is that? Supernatural element, the presence of, death fires and the witch's broth. All these are the imagination of the poet. Imagination of the poet. The poet has deliberately tried to introduce this supernatural element in these lines. Perhaps the one who is narrating the story in the form of the poem is trying to create fear in the mind of the listener. And therefore they have created these lines. Now let us go ahead. Some in dreams assured. Some here refers to some of the mariners. Some of the mariners, there were so many sailors now. They saw in dreams and they were assured that the spirit that plagued them, so 9 fathom deep, he had followed them from the land of mist and snow. Actually, they were being chased by the spirit of dead albatross. Right from the land of mist and snow. So who do you think is chasing them and from where? We think that the spirit of dead albatross, select that, the spirit of dead albatross was chasing the mariners, from the land of mist and snow. Because the albatross came from the land of mist and snow. So the mariners were being chased by the soul of dead albatross, right from the land of mist and snow. Right from where? Tell me. Right from the land of mist and snow. And how much deep it is chasing? They were being chased, their ship is being chased 9 fathom. 1 fathom means 6 feet. So 9 6 are 54 feet. So 54 feet deep into sea water. How deep the soul of dead albatross is chasing the mariners? 54 feet deep into sea water. Right from the land of mist and snow. Who is chasing whom? Tell me. The soul of dead albatross is chasing the mariners right from the land of mist and snow, and it is chasing them 54 feet deep into sea water. 1 fathom means how many feet? Tell me. 6 feet. And 9 fathom, 9 6 are 54 feet deep into sea water. Right from which land? From the land of mist and snow. Now, every tongue refers to each mariner's tongue. What does every tongue refer to? Each mariner's tongue, through utter drought, it has become extremely dry. Ask sir why? They have not taken water for a long time. They were thirsty and they haven't drunk water for a long time. The water was saline and their own water has been consumed. So the mariners had not taken water for a long time. As a result, their throat has dried at the bottom. As a result, their throat has dried at the bottom. Withered means dry. At the root means at the bottom. We could not speak. And why couldn't they speak? They couldn't speak in fear of getting suffocated. Choked means suffocated from the smoke that was coming from burning water. Why couldn't the mariners speak? The mariners could not speak in fear of getting suffocated. From the smoke that was coming out of burning water. So the mariners could not speak in fear of getting suffocated with the smoke that was coming out of burning water. What does every tongue here refer to? Every tongue refers to each of the mariners' tongue. And how has it got dried at the bottom? It has got dried at the bottom because they were thirsty. And they have not taken water for a long time. The mariners have not taken water for a long time, so their throat had dried at the bottom. What happened to their throat? Their throats had dried at the bottom because they had not taken water for a long time. They were thirsty and they couldn't get suitable water to drink. They couldn't speak. Why couldn't they speak? They couldn't speak because they were just afraid of being suffocated with the smoke that was coming out of burning water. They couldn't speak as they were afraid of getting suffocated with the smoke that was coming out of burning water. Right. At last, the ancient mariner just remarks saying, how evil I have been looking. Had I from old, right from the youth, his young age till the old age, he has been carrying the dead albatross. Actually, not physically, but the guilt he is carrying all through his life. That he had killed the bird that has been the cause of all the suffering. What had been the cause of all the suffering? Killing of the bird. So what had Other mariners done, they have taken out his cross, and in place of the cross, they have hung the dead albatross around his neck. That means they have held him responsible for all the trouble. So here albatross is a pun. There are two meanings of albatross. One is the bird, another one is the cause of trouble. The killing of the bird albatross was an albatross in the neck of the ancient mariner. So here albatross has two meanings. One is the bird, another one is the cause of trouble. Killing of the bird albatross became an albatross in the neck of the mariner. Say like that. Killing of the bird albatross became an albatross in the neck of the mariner. Here there are two meanings of the word albatross. One is the noun bird, another one is the cause of trouble. Cause of trouble. Therefore it is a pun. It is a pun is a poetic device in which there are two meanings of the same word. There are two meanings of the same word. So at last the ancient mariner remarks saying that he had been carrying the dead albatross around his neck right from youth to old age, because wherever he goes, he is guilt conscious. Therefore, the last line suggests that the ancient mariner remained regretting throughout his life for the act he did of killing the bird, and the other mariners held him responsible, and it appeared to him that he had been carrying the dead albatross around his neck. Here the word albatross is just a pun. It is having two meanings. How many meanings?
Two meanings.
Thus we come to conclude this poem completely. Am I right?
Yes.
Thank you.